Hey everyone, it's Robin from Rose and Lily. Today we're going to be making these cute drawstring fruit pouches. These work up pretty quickly and they're a great last minute gift for someone. Now the finished size depends on which yarn you use. The lemon was made using Hobbii Baby Snuggle and the peach was made using Premier Parfait Chunky. The lemon measures at about 14 by 14 centimeters, whereas the peach measures at 16 by 16. Obviously, if you use a thicker yarn like Bernat Baby Blanket, it would be even bigger. First, you're going to need some chunky or super chunky plush yarn in a color for the bag, and then in green for the leaf drawstring. I'll be using Hobbii Baby Snuggle in Duck and Sage. First you'll need a USG crochet hook or a hook to match the yarn you're using. Then you'll need scissors, a yarn needle, and stitch markers. The stitches you need to know beforehand are single crochet, magic ring, chain stitch, slip stitch, half double crochet, and invisible decrease. We're going to start on the pouch. And in round 1, we're doing 6 single crochet in a magic ring. I have a full tutorial on how I like to do the magic ring, and I'll put that at the top of the video. Pull the ring tight. And then I always put a stitch marker in the last stitch of each round. In round 2, we are doing 2 single crochet into each stitch from round 1. This means we're doing 6 increases, which brings us up to 12 stitches in round 2. In round 3, we first do a single crochet and then 2 single crochet into the next stitch. Then we repeat this all the way around, so single crochet followed by 2 single crochet into the same stitch. This means for round 3 we're doing 18 stitches in total. In round 4, we do 2 single crochet and then an increase, which is 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And we do that all the way around, so that's 6 times in total. That means we have 24 stitches in round 4. In round 5, we do 3 single crochet and then an increase, and we do that 6 times to get 30 stitches. In round 6, it's 4 single crochet and then an increase, and we do that 6 times to get 36. In round 7, it's 5 single crochet and then an increase. We do that 6 times to get 42. Now we are done with the increases. So for the next 10 rounds, that's rounds 8 to 17, we're just doing 42 single crochet a round. And I'll do these 10 rounds off camera. After round 17, it should look like this. Now we're going to do one round of decreases. So for round 18, we first do 19 single crochet, and then a decrease, and I like to do the invisible decrease. And we do that again, so 19 single crochet followed by a decrease. This means for round 18 we should have 40 stitches in total. In round 19, we just do 40 single crochet a round. In round 20, we first do 2 single crochet, and then we're going to chain 2. Skip the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 again. So follow this pattern all the way around. 2 single crochet, 2 chain stitches, and skip 2. Here's the last 2 single crochet, then my 2 chain stitches, and that's the end of round 20. So I'm going to move my stitch marker to that last chain stitch. Now round 21 starts after those 2 skip stitches, which is here. And we're going to do 2 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet into that chain space. And then again 2 single crochet, followed by 2 single crochet into the chain space. And we'll do that all the way around. And here are the last 2 single crochet into the chain space, and that's the end of round 21. Now we can remove the stitch marker and close with a slip stitch into the next stitch. Then just cut the yarn, leaving enough of a tail to weave in. Now we can weave in that end using the yarn needle. I first like to make that step change less obvious by going up into the next stitch and then down into the one next to it. Then you can just weave the tail in, going underneath a few stitches in a few different directions. Now we just need to weave in the tail from the magic ring. So turn the piece inside out and just weave the tail through a few stitches in a few different directions. Now the fruit pouch should look like this. Next up is the leaf and drawstring. So using your green yarn, make a slip knot. Chain 8. Then, starting in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a single crochet. And you can add a marker to this stitch. Now we're going to work down the chain. So in the next stitch, we're doing a half double crochet. And then a half double crochet in the stitch after that. And then a double crochet in the next stitch. A double crochet in the stitch after that. And then a half double crochet. Now there should be one chain stitch left, and we're going to do 3 single crochet into that same stitch. At this point you should start to work on the side of the chain towards the underside. Now we're going to be working on the underside of the chain. So into the next chain stitch we're going to do a half double crochet. And then a double crochet into the next. And then a double crochet into the next again. A half double crochet into the next chain. A half double crochet into the next. And then a single crochet into the last chain stitch. Now we're not going to join to that first marked single crochet just yet, we're going to leave the stitch marker there. Now we're going to crochet the drawstring, and I'll be chaining 40, but you can chain more if you would like it to be longer. Then, starting in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do slip stitches all the way back along the chain. And here's the slip stitch into the last chain stitch. And now we're going to do a slip stitch back to that first marked single crochet. Remove the stitch marker And then we can cut the yarn, just leaving a bit of a tail for sewing. Now we can just weave in this end from the start of the leaf. Make sure to not weave the other end in just yet, because we're going to use it to sew the drawstring closed. So we still have this end, and we're going to weave the drawstring through the bag. And I like to insert it on this last chain space, but you can insert it in any of the chain spaces. And then just go around the entire pouch. Once you get to the end, we're going to use that yarn tail to sew the ends together. And you can just grab a few stitches on the end and in the base of the leaf. Once it's secure, you can weave in the end. Then you can just pull on the end to close it. And that's your fruit pouch all done. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. The free written pattern for this pouch will be on my website.